George Michael's family may need to turn to lawyers to get tragic star's lover Fadi Fawaz out of his £5 million London townhouse. The family of the late singer George Michael may be forced to serve his partner a writ to get him out of the star's luxury £5 million London townhouse. Fadi Fawaz, 40, has been staying at the legend's luxury property in Regent's Park since the star unexpectedly passed away on Christmas Day. But the house is said to be inherited by the singer's family along with most of his estate, who are understood to have fallen out with the celebrity hairdresser. This comes just days after it was reported George's sister had been left the Highgate mansion in the musician's will. Melanie Pena-Yodu, 55, was thought to have already moved into the North London pad as preparations for the star's heartfelt and intimate funeral get underway. Now it is thought a dispute has erupted between the family and Mr. Fawaz as he is still occupying the house. A source told The Sun said, most of George's estate is passing to his sisters and his immediate family, which includes his substantial property portfolio, but at the moment Fawaz is still living in the Regent's Park house. He's of the opinion that he had an agreement with George that he could use the property for the foreseeable, but obviously circumstances have now changed dramatically. He and the family are not really in contact, but the issue is lurking in the background and is going to flare up again once the funeral is out of the way. It could easily become a legal issue if they can't agree. A source in the newspaper also reported Mr. Fawaz had been banned from his partner's funeral. He also said Mr. Fawaz had severed ties with George's relatives, explaining, Mr. Fawaz disappeared after George's death. He was never a part of the family because he and George just had an arrangement. But he was still the last person to see George alive, and if he had any respect for the family he would have got in touch. He added, instead of explaining to George's family, he is sitting in his £5 million house in Regent's Park. You would have, though he might have decided, out of respect, I'll go somewhere else. But he is still living there. Why? He isn't going to inherit it, not in a million years. But in an interview with The Sun, Mr. Fawaz accused George's family of cutting him off and not looking out for him since the star's death. The Lebanese-born hairdresser told The Sun, nobody helps me, you know. My relationship was with George. It's sad, and it's not right. I haven't been looked after, but we don't do that, do we? It's all part of life, and anything can happen, but I'm happy to take the experience. You take nothing with you anyway. I am that kind of guy, believe it or not, it's all okay. I am resilient because I understand how things work. I'm grateful for everything. Mr. Fawaz found George dead at another of his homes in Goring-on-Thames on the morning of Christmas Day, but insisted he was not there when the star died, claiming he spent the previous night asleep in his car. The Sunday People claim his sister Melanie is organizing the funeral, with flowers and catering already arranged. Former Spice Girl Jerry Horner, 44, one of Michael's closest friends, will reportedly give a reading at the service. The area is close to Michael's home, a source of pilgrimage for grieving fans in the weeks following his death. A message on the North London Cemetery's answer phone says, "Welcome to Highgate Cemetery. If you're phoning about George Michael, I'm sorry, we haven't got any information for you." The pop star's official cause of death was recorded as dilated cardiomyopathy with myocarditis and a fatty liver. His death certificate was released for the first time on Friday, revealing that his death was registered by Michael's sister Panayota Pena-Yodu. The certificate used his birth name, Georgios Kyriakos Pena-Yodu, but referred to the star being otherwise known as George Michael. It listed the place of his death, in Goring-on-Thames, Oxfordshire, but showed his usual address was in Highgate, London. Police were originally called to the former Wham singer's home in Goring-on-Thames just before 2 p.m. on Christmas Day and later said that they were treating the 53-year-old's death as unexplained but not suspicious. Darren Salter, Oxfordshire's senior coroner, eventually decided there was no need for an inquest to find the cause of his death. He released a statement which said, "Inquiries into the death of George Michael have been concluded and the final post-mortem report received. As there is a confirmed natural cause of death, being dilated cardiomyopathy with myocarditis and fatty liver. The investigation is being discontinued and there is no need for an inquest or any further inquiries. No further updates will be provided and the family requests the meeting.